I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Eternal God, as we begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Alderman, we ask that you invest in this board your strength and wisdom to fortify us and to guide us so that we may enhance the prosperity of our community and improve the quality of life for those you have entrusted us to serve. It's in your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. Any comments or corrections to the agenda?
Make the motion we approve the agenda as typed.
Second. Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Walter Hayes to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The agenda is approved. Next is the approval of the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting on May 7th and approval of disbursements. Are there any comments, questions, or changes to the consent agenda?
I've got a question and a comment for disbursements. Is the PACE analytical, is that drug testing?
No, that is testing for the treatment.
Oh, yeah. And then comment, I saw that we spent a lot of money at Goodyear Tires for tires and brakes. I know for most things we don't have an option, but when we do have an option, I think we should be spending our money in Carl Junction. That's all.
Anything else?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Allen, second by Holly Levine. We approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative, 1 absent. The consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wish to speak at public forum? Come on, Richard. Anyone at all wishing to speak at public forum? Last chance for public forum, and we'll move right along. Next is P&Z cases. Case 2405, rescind the request on 1103 Spinell by Nick Moretz. This will be a public hearing. So I'll open the public hearing. And would anyone like to speak in favor of this rezoning request?
I would. My name's Brian Moritz. I'm Nick's dad. He had to be back in Nashville this week. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to give you a 2-minute history of this piece of property. My wife and I bought this property 23 years ago in 2001, along with the property behind it that now has the duplexes on it. My intention at that time was to build a small shopping center in the back and actually tear down this house for an entrance off canal. At that planning and zoning meeting, several neighbors showed up and expressed their concerns about this becoming a commercial property. That commercial zoning request was denied. Sometime after that, we sold the property in the back to Mike Williams, and he built the duplexes back there. Steve reminded me that a chiropractor was there years ago, and that's true. Gene Roy set that up for me and told me that it is zoned residential, but the city would allow small businesses all along the canal. That way, if the chiropractor moved out, I could still rent the house as a house, and that's exactly what happened. The last tenant lived there for 14 years, and there was at least one more long-term tenant between him and the chiropractor. Due to some health issues, I sold that house last November to my son Nick. Him and his brother fixed it up and put it up for sale. I never knew there was a problem until the buyer's agent called me a couple weeks ago. I had always been under the impression it was a single-family home that could be used as an office. No one ever told me I couldn't rent it as a house. No one said it should be rezoned because you're using it as a house. The tenants living there, as well as us, turned the water on and off with the city all those years, no problems. This house is currently under contract to be purchased by a couple who want to make Carl Junction their home. With the exception of the short-term the chiropractors were there over 20 years ago, this property's been a single-family dwelling since it was built. Today, we are requesting the zoning reflect what this house has been, a single-family home. Thank you.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How long has it been vacant?
It's been vacant over a year now, and I just didn't have the energy to work on it last year, and then Nick bought it, and they worked on it all winter.
They just.
You know, when
just
you said
finished
that they turned down to rezone it to C1?
Yeah.
How did it get to be C1 then?
I don't have any idea. I was told it was R1, but all along Canal, they would allow businesses in there. So when that happened, I don't know.
Was it perhaps that they turned down the zoning for what you wanted to make a shopping center in the back?
I don't.
And the only reason
It's been a long time
Yeah.
ago, and I don't remember the specifics, but it was, I believe, all one request, and it was denied.
And the reason I ask, and it's been long enough, I might be remembering it correctly as well, but I took over Gene's office across the street at one time, and I remember when the chiropractor was there. And what I recall is that somebody else wanted to use it as a commercial property after they got out, but they were going to have to pave, which is a requirement if the use changes. And didn't want to do that, and that's when it got turned into a residential property. It's been that way ever since. I don't know if you remember that or not. That's just a recollection that I have on that property.
And we rented it as a house.
Who told you it was R1, but it could be commercial? Was it somebody at the city or was it Gene?
Gene Wood.
Anything else, any other questions? No. Go, Elaine.
I am looking right now, but I was actually looking through our ordinances the other day, and I think it was 2001 when that was rezoned to commercial.
We don't have,
But as
We don't
far as
know
I know,
why.
that request was denied.
Ordinance 2104 was an ordinance rezoning 1103 East Canal from R1 to C2.
All right.
And the zoning map shows it
I have one.
Yeah.
question. We are working really hard to develop business in Carl Junction and working with a group for retail development. Is it something that you guys would be interested in if you can't do it residential, that we could put Nick in contact maybe with these people and they could help market it?
I understand. They went down the remodeling.
Yeah, they already.
Is the remodeling done?
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. We have a buyer. right
Yeah.
there. They're ready.
See,
to
they've
go
already
in.
finished remodeling the inside too, so.
I think part of the problem is we listen to a realtor instead of checking with the city on the zoning.
Well, I'm sure that's true.
I mean, of course, that's ancient history and we can't go back and fix that. That's unfortunate.
Okay. Other questions? I know somebody else wants to speak in favor of it.
Is that mic on? Is that mic on?
I don't know.
It might be, I just can't hear it. It's on.
That's going to his batteries.
Hey, Lana, does it meet all the codes for a residential property? Does it have the proper setbacks and things like that, or?
I assume it does, but I would have to pull the building permit file.
There it's on.
The house has been there. We didn't build the house. We had a bedroom and bathroom on it to make it a nicer house, but the house has been there for, long time. Yeah, I'm sure it's 50s.
50s?
Hi, my name is Mason Fox. This is my fiance, Anna Hager. But I grew up in CJ. I was raised here, K through 12. Graduated in 2020. So really familiar with the city, and we just have been looking forward to staying here, building a family, and with all the work he's put into it, and it's home when we walked in, and it just felt just perfect. And we were looking forward to, putting the privacy fence out, the garage eventually, just trying to make it feel even more like home. So we've been so excited, and it's been a pretty lengthy process, but we're ready to go with it. It's been a little over a month and a half now, so that's all.
All right, thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of this zoning change? Very well, anyone like to speak against the zoning change?
Planning and zoning did meet on this, and they denied the request for rezoning and are recommending not to rezone it.
Do they know the history of all this?
I believe so.
What was their reasoning?
Because of the city's refocus on commercial development. And the fact that Retail Strategies, the company that we had hired, had expressed a lot of interest in the car wash and that property all in one.
When they ready to buy it? Is that what they're doing?
They don't, they're consultants.
You have been approached for a
Uh,
No, I've been not approached.
I have a question.
Sure.
Steve, what year did we form planning and zoning? Was that under wisdom? Do you know?
No, that was 1998. '99.
And according to Beacon, for what it's worth, this property was built in 1950.
So I'm just wondering, because I saw when this property went for sale and I immediately looked online for it. And it said on the listings that I saw that it was commercial. So I saw immediately that it was
It
commercial.
was,
And I'm confused why it's like last minute all of a sudden it's.
it was listed as residential with the sister listing as a commercial property because that's what I thought it was. You could put a small office in there. But the original listing, the main one is residential.
Yeah, I'm really torn there, just my opinion. So I get they want to buy the house and live in it, and I definitely want people to move to Carl Junction, but we're also trying really hard to develop business along Canal. So I'm torn if it's commercial and one of the huge spots.
Companies are moving to Carl Junction looking for commercial office space.
That's what we made a big investment with this firm. And they came in and done a survey of all commercial properties, anything that might work that we could try to rezone commercial. This is way past overdue. I mean, to make this concentrated effort, which not that we haven't in the past, but now we've got this consultant firm that actually has expertise in this. I believe they've already had 36, did you say, companies show interest in some of the proposals and marketing materials that they've put out. So hopefully, I mean, we all, even residents planning to come here, really need to want us to get more commercial because we need that sales tax revenue. So maybe we don't have to depend solely on property taxes.
It was on the market for 6 or 8 weeks before they made an offer on it, and there was no commercial interest
I think, just as far as my opinion, I guess, is that for over 20 some years, it's been a home, a residential place. And I understand that we are trying to get businesses here. And that's something, since I've been on here, that with this new, what's the name of the company? Retail Strategies. That's pretty recent as well. And there are other properties available. But that, like I said, it's been a home. Has been. They looked at it and are ready to purchase it as a home. The owners have put money into it to remodel it so that it was be prepared to be sold. So unless there's something I'm missing as far as code, Steve, you had mentioned something about it being vacant for too long and it reverted back. So if you want to explain that.
Yeah, we have a grandfather clause in there that's 6 months. If a property sits vacant for 6 months, it reverts back to what the zoning is and that use is for that zoning.
So had they sold it 5 months ago or whatever, it would have stayed residential.
I guess I don't understand how it was rezoned in 2001 to commercial. And then we allowed residential use and residential hookup. I mean-
No, I would have to go back and look at the paper P and Z files. More than likely, and I don't know this for sure, but probably Frack and McDaniel, they were the chiropractors. They might have had it rezoned while they were in it.
Yeah.
And a chiropractic office would fit into C1.
Right. So that's why I don't understand then if they moved out, how
Well, it was an immediate, there was never a time lapse. If there was a time lapse of people living in it, it was very short.
Yeah.
Very short. So that 6 months would never have kicked in.
right, but
Well-
if it was C1, how did it go back to R1?
Well, unless something has changed, anything lower would be allowed. So residential would be allowed in a C1.
No,
Not-
our C1 doesn't allow a single family dwelling. That does multifamily, but not single family. It only goes so far.
So it's currently, what is it, C1 or C2? I've heard both.
It's currently C1,
C1.
C1.
and all the work's been done on it.
I'm like Holly, I'm really torn because I know what our plan is at Long Pennell, and I'm really torn because I also know that this is something that goes back 23 years, that somehow the ball got dropped way back then, and now people have put money into it, and it's been residential, and you have buyers. It's very unfortunate that something wasn't caught on this earlier.
I don't, in this particular instance, I'm not torn at all. I think it should stay as residential or be changed to residential since it has been a home for so long. Yeah.
That's the way I feel
We're
about
ready
it
to
too.
write a check.
That's the way I feel about it.
Buyer is ready to close, ready to move until next week.
Anyone else want to speak
Yeah.
against?
I was gonna remind you.
This is just a public, this is just a public hearing. I'm not voting on anything right now. That comes a little bit later. Anyone else like to speak, man? If not, then I'll close the public hearing. And we'll move on to the next case, 2406, another rezoning request, 301 South Main, from Krista and Daniel Hawkins. They're going to request you go from R1 to C2, excuse me. Now, I'll open a public hearing on that. Anyone like to speak in favor of this change?
P and Z met on this one also, and they are recommending approval.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of this?
Can we speak on our own behalf?
Sure,
Okay. I know that.
yeah. Yeah, you better. If you're the ones that requested the change, you better.
I'm Kristen, actually, it's listed as Krista, but it's
Okay.
Kristen. This is Danielle. So we purchased that property from the state of Barbara Edwards. She lived there for a very, very long time. And it is our hope to open a dog boutique, like a retail store, which is why we're requesting C2. So we want to sell boutique dog goods, like collars, leashes, treats, really focusing on other small independent businesses from across the United States. So really unique items that you can't get like in PetSmart or Petland, that will be in program.
Good.
Would your customer parking be on Main Street?
There is, like in front of the house, there's a little area there, and then the church has a parking lot right next to the building. That just is like,
It's adjacent to the
Right,
property,
right
to
there,
the property line.
and it's paved, it's a paved.
Yeah, I think it's 30 spaces or something like that.
That's good.
And the house itself is just around 1,300 square feet, so I think according to the ordinance, we need 2 parking spaces.
Yeah, we've told zoning and planning about this as well, but, so 301, it's right across the street from First Baptist Church on the, whatever side it is, the east side. And, of course, the church is not commercial or resident, they're exempt, their church. So that's adjacent on the west side. South side is a parking lot also owned by the church, again, exempt. Property to the east is already zoned commercial. And then the property to the north is residential, but it is a main street address. And then, 2 houses down is all commercial, so.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of this zoning change? Would anyone like to speak against this zoning change? Anyone at all? No? Very well, then I'll close this public hearing and we'll move along. Next is approval of bids for resurfacing the community center outdoor basketball court.
Z highways.
What? Oh,
Phase
sorry.
six.
Yeah, I can't read very well. Approval of bids for Route Z Pinell Street Sidewalk Improvement Project Phase 4.
You have a letter there from Own Engineering. We have the bid opening on it, and they're recognizing that it is higher. They're recommending approval of it. Our portion of that is 30, right at 30%. Not significant, and we had 100 and some thousand that we had put into the ARP funds, 145,000 in ARPA funds. So we won't use all of the ARP funds to fulfill this.
I need to say something.
Yeah.
On the ARPA, I believe it was actually put in as stormwater to begin with. So we've got the funding in there, but we probably need to redesignate before. I mean, we don't have to do that tonight, but we probably need to redesignate that and then we'll allocate what's left. But I think we'll probably need to do that.
Okay, anything else on this? Any other comments? And if we vote and approve this, then what, we need an ordinance on it?
Yeah, there'll be a whole contract and an ordinance at the next meeting.
Okay. So,
I move we approve the bid for phase 6 Pennell sidewalk as recommended by the engineer.
Second.
motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Flynn. To approve the bid for Route Z Pinell Street Sidewalk Improvement Project Phase 6. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 on the affirmative, 1 absent. That is approved. Now we'll go back to the thing I just talked about a minute ago. Approval of bids for resurfacing the community center outdoor basketball court.
There's been several bids on this one, and we talked about it a little bit in the Public Facilities Committee. You've got a wide range of bids that came in on it. Gerald Perry Tennis at $9,250. Midwest Concrete Solutions, the $6,900. That was actually just for resurfacing the court. It was not painting stripes or putting a logo or anything like that in there. That was strictly just grinding it off to make it non-slip. And it would get rid of that sealer that was already on there. Tri-State Chip and Seal and Nelson Enterprises were the only two that were true bids on sanding it off, restriping, painting. They had everything involved in it. So Nelson Enterprises is the low bid on that for $10,580. Kenny and I have been working with one of the local banks for sponsorship on it. Not really sponsorship. Partnership. There we go. Partnership on it. And actually, they've collected information back from us. So my gut tells me that they will be partnering. At what level, we don't know yet. But anyway, we have enough money in the ARPA to pay this totally, and then whatever they give us, we'll just go back.
Yes, sir.
Is that Steve Nelson?
Yes.
Okay. Full disclosure, I am going to be doing some business. I'm going to be hiring Steve to do just a minor job that is on my personal property, so I don't know if I need to abstain from the vote. I mean, we've used him in the past. This has just came up in the past couple weeks.
Well, let's ask Mr. Kelly.
Oh, Mr. Tevin. I mean, it's not gonna change my decision either way, but I just wanted you
I
guys
think you
to know.
can, I think you can go ahead and not vote.
I'll just abstain
Yeah.
on those bases, like
Sure,
I
that's
said.
Any other comments on this?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I just wonder, which basketball court is this? Is this
It's
one?
right out here.
So as far as the bank partnering with this, is there any kind of bank logo or anything we're gonna have to do or stuff like that?
Center court logo.
Cool. Anything else?
So do we need a motion to approve the specific bid?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I make a motion to approve the bid from Nelson Enterprise.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Carol Wolford to approve the bid for research of the community center outdoor basketball court. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Abstaining, same sign. Okay, 6 in the affirmative with 1 abstention and 1 absent. That bid is approved. Next is an ordinance amending chapter 720 user charge system.
This is our,
We have to put it on first
Yeah.
reading.
oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 720 User Charge System by adopting a new Appendix A to Sewer Use Charge Ordinance Actual Use Rate Structure, May 2024, and by amending Section 720.040 User Charge Rates to reflect said changes in rates and establishing an effective date for said new rates.
Discussion.
This sets our new rate at $16.26 for the base rate, and then $4 and a penny per thousand thereafter. It also sets the out-of-town rate at $18.77 and $4.27.
And our current rates are?
$27 and $298 in town,
I think so.
and out of town is 2.5 times that.
See
I
that
can't do
again?
that math in my head.
I thought the base rate was staying the same. Or the per.
You know, I ask that every year.
I know you do.
I was gonna say that was my question. I know you made it at least like
I know it's 298 for each additional thousand. That one I know.
So it is, we are taking
So
a
if we're
high.
gonna raise the water rates, we need to have what the old ones are, the new ones are, and go on that sometime.
1507 and 298.
And now it's going to,
1626.
1626 and 401,
1626 and 401.
that's going up a bunch.
Yeah.
especially the additional rate.
Quite a bit.
Is that just, I'm
This is-
assuming because of the cost of the
There's
operations?
There's a couple of things that have really affect of it. Of course, our labor costs went up. Main one is we're spending more and more on sampling and testing, chemical analysis more than what we ever have before. And that's thanks to DNR. They've also slapped another one on us here recently, and that's phosphorus. So they keep adding things to it. This also recoups the money we had to spend on repairing the Center Creek crossing.
Okay. Any other comments from anybody?
And along with labor, health insurance has went up too. It's been several years.
We put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Ladonna Allen, second by Holly Levine, put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 720, User Charge System by adopting a new Appendix A to Sewer Use Charge Ordinance, Actual Use Rate Structure, May 2024, and by amending Section 720.040 User Charge Rates to reflect said changes in rates and establishing an effective date for said new rates.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Ladonna Allen, second by Holly Levine, put this ordinance on final passage. This is a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, please vote electronically.
He's on bill.
Still got Bill.
Somebody pushed the wrong button?
No,
There we go.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
it's just
Except-
7 in the affirmative.
Yeah, 7 in the affirmative, but we haven't changed the names.
Yeah, they're changed here.
They're not changed up there.
David's out.
Are they?
Oh, they're.
Bill
Bill McGuire's still on there.
Mhm.
Anyway, 7 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The ordinance passes, and that is ordinance number
2411.
2411. So I guess we're gonna have to find out if somebody votes against something on an ordinance, we have to find out who did that. That's not accurate. Okay, next is an ordinance approving a contract with Miracle Recreation Equipment for playground equipment at Center Creek Park.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Holly Levine, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving the proposal of Miracle Recreation Equipment Company to purchase, ship, and install playground equipment at the Center Creek Park location in accordance with the proposal for the sum of $131,549.36 and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute documents necessary to effectuate such proposal.
Discussion.
We do have money budgeted in ARPA for this project. So the funds are available and ready to go.
Carol?
Is this gonna be another one of those where we have to increase the price later because we don't have enough depth?
No.
No,
This is a
No.
different type of floor.
No.
This will be mulch.
Well-
This one.
No, because we changed the equipment on Lakeside. That's why we had to increase the price. So I had to change the equipment. This is firm fixed price. Anything else? Anybody?
We met on this in public facilities and we're recommending approval.
Thank you.
Make a motion, put it on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Walter Hayes, second by Roger Spitzer, that we put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Clerk, please read the title.
An ordinance approving the proposal of Miracle Recreation Equipment Company to purchase, ship, and install playground equipment at the Center Creek Park location in accordance with the proposal for the sum of $131,549.36 and authorizing the mayor and or city administrator to execute documents necessary to effectuate such proposal.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Holly Levine, to put this ordinance on final passage. It's a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 in the affirmative, please vote electronically.
there we go.
7 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The ordinance passes. That's ordinance number.
2412.
Thank you. Next is ordinance rezoning 1103 East Pinell from C1 to R1.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Holly Levine, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone 1103 East Pinell, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Nick Moritz as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from C1 to R1.
Any discussion now? Since we've had the public hearing. anybody
I
else
believe
want to
that we
comment?
should make the change. The fact is, it was originally R1. It's been used as R1 for 20 plus years at this point. If I'm incorrect and R1's not allowed under C1, then the city basically messed up by not correcting that long ago. And I don't see, there's other frontage on Fidel. The other option would be to just do a special use potentially to allow them to use it as an R1 property without actually changing the zoning. And if they happen to get a good offer later from a commercial buyer, they could take advantage of that at that time.
I agree that it's a mess up that went back more than 2 decades. I would be more likely to approve rezoning than make them go through everything with special use and spend more money to have any other hearings or.
Yeah, my first option would just go back to R1 with it. That's
All right. Anything else? Any other comments?
I move we put this ordinance on final passage, title only.
Oh, did we do second reading?
No, we need second reading.
Move we put this ordinance on second reading, by title only.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Carol Wolf, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Please read the title.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone 1103 East Fennell, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Nick Lorenz as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from C1 to.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on final passage. This is a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Bob. 7, in the affirmative with 1 absent, please vote electronically. The rezoning and the ordinance passes with a 7 and 1 absent vote. That's ordinance number
2413.
413. Thank you.
Now they can get moved in, and when we get business in, they can just shop local.
That's right.
Enjoy your new home.
Next is ordinance rezoning 301 South Main Street from R1 to C2.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by
Second.
title only.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Bob McAfee, put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Please read the title.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone 301 South Main, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Kristen and Daniel Hawkins as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from R1 to C2.
Discussion.
I love this idea. I hope you're very successful.
Bring all of your dogs to come see us.
I will, it's good. I move we put this,
Cats.
We don't discriminate.
We got that same question in zoning. Put in a small section for cats.
I move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Donna Allen, put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Clerk, please read the title.
An ordinance amending the zoning district map adopted by the Board of Alderman of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by ordinance number 9910 on the 18th day of May 1999 as amended to rezone 301 South Main, Carl Junction, Jasper County, Missouri, owned by Kristen and Daniel Hawkins as more fully described in the body of this ordinance from R1 to C2.
Further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Roger Spencer, put this ordinance on final passage. It's a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7-0. Please vote electronically. 7 yes, 1 absent. That is ordinance number
2414.
And that ordinance passes. Very good. Next, the reports. Long-term project report.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, Crystal, is this your report? I mixed in like this is a combined report.
I don't think I did any for this one. I did on the last one.
Okay. Then I got some on the pool on Bulldog Beach. We're talking about conceptuals. Are we having to pay for conceptuals on this?
No,
So that, okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Are we,
It's a really conceptual.
Yeah. And it was still kind of up in the air. I think you mentioned something to David, but we didn't really talk that much about it in public facilities. Are we looking at other use other than pickleball?
Have not yet.
Yeah, we did. I looked at just making it a deck.
Well, but public facilities as
That was
We did
only,
look at
that was
it.
only $75,000.
Yeah.
We did look at restriping the tennis courts because it needs resurfaced again too, and it'll go another year before that happens.
But I mean, restriping it for tennis?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because I didn't know, I mean, really, we hadn't kicked around any other
No.
options. I mean,
No,
we had
yeah.
talked about like, even mentioned maybe an outdoor, you want some of the outdoor exercise stuff in the park. We can even put some of that there, or I just wanted to,
No, this is conceptual. It is,
well,
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Well,
we
public
weren't-
facilities needs to meet on it and decide what they want to do with it. We're
Well-
getting options.
Did you have something else? Put on?
Well, I just wanted to make sure we weren't like having to pay somebody $15,000 or something to come up with conceptuals.
The permanent lighting at the Veterans Memorial, and as I have said in there, Liberty is agreed to do all the work. We will have to do some of the work, so you've got two options on that. We can either have somebody do it, or Jay and the guys can do it. And what they would have to do is trench it, put the conduit in, pour the concrete for the pedestals, for the lamps, and then when all of that was done, Liberty will come in and we will buy all the materials. I did get a quote for the materials of $5,700 today. They'll come in, hook it up, aim them, pull all the wire. They'll do everything else for it. So it is the only extra cost we will have that's not in that $5,700 is we'll have to buy some sonotubes, which are the tubes that you pour concrete in to make the round pedestals, a little bit of rebar, and then the concrete, which it's not going to be much.
Okay,
Or we can contract out that portion of it if you want to.
now realistically, because we've talked about this in the past, is Jay going to have the staffing and the time to do this? I mean, because we've talked about it before, and I'm not saying they're not doing, I'm saying if they have other projects that they need to do, realistically
Realistically, he does not, because we're
gonna
200 acres worth of mowing that he has to do that he can't keep up with that already. We do have, and I've talked to him on it, is, one more open spot, or he could get 2 seasonals. He did go back through applications. Again, I think he's still
I
doing
think in
that.
order to save money, since we're short on all that stuff we've talked about, when we go to leaf collection in December, it's gonna be one pass on the streets. It's not gonna be the go back again, go back again, and go back again. You're gonna have a schedule. They're gonna be on your street on a certain day, and if your leaves are out, they'll pick them up. If you don't have them out that day, you have to find something else to do with them. That'll free up a lot of time for him, and we're not going to do Airport Drive.
Well, and I would like to get a cost of what it would take to hire it out. Because
Okay.
that's why I say, I just hate to look at a number and think that's what we're going to spend, and then
No, I think that's really,
I would rather have a number ahead of time.
which I had wanted also. I just got these materials list and got that quote in today, and the mayor and I had talked about, let's see if somebody can do it.
And by reducing that, giving him more time to work, that means when we have fencing, maybe he can put up fencing, he can do stuff like that that would be more economical for the city.
I do know that the, I was gonna call them the Flower Club, and that's not right.
Cultivators.
Cultivators, there we go. The cultivators are wanting to landscape around that.
Thank you.
And Jay will work with them a lot on doing that, so. In fact, that's what they were going to do with their money from this last paint sale, was use it for that kind of thing.
Do you know when they're gonna fix the table at Lakeside?
Should be this week. I also threw out the option to them, instead of tearing that one out, just put covering over the top of it, whether it's stainless steel, something durable to just cover that.
Something that a 8 or 9-year-old could jump on.
Yeah, just something to put over the top of that concrete to cover it up, and so we don't have to worry about it cracking.
I think I'd rather have that on there. Anyway.
Are we going to have to pay anything on that?
No.
No.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, Bob.
Don't we have to have this ARPA money all spent by the end of this year? No?
No, it's got to be all committed and under contract by
Okay, I just.
We're under contract.
October, I
By
believe
the,
it is.
I think by the end of the year. I think you have till, but it has to be under either, if we haven't spent it, it has to be under contract. But now that we've got the sidewalk bid, we'll,
Yeah,
Everything we've
Yeah.
got, everything spent. Okay, I was just gonna talk about basketball courts and stuff. if it needed.
well,
Yeah,
yes,
I was gonna ask you about the one for us out there.
well,
yeah, and that was one of the things that we talked about in public facilities, and we can rework all of that, and we can get that under contract this year too, to get that basketball court put in.
we should even be able to get it put in as
Yes,
soon as. And I was gonna bring it up under committee reports, but I wanna talk to David, maybe see if we can hold a joint deal so we can work out those ARPA numbers. And these, now that we have the sidewalk amount, then we
yeah, it'll
can
be a lot
and we
easier to do.
get the basketball courts.
Anything else for the long-term projects report? If not, we'll move along to department reports. I got the PD's report here next. And any comments for the chief?
I'm jealous. It sounds like he had a very interesting workshop.
And the FBI paid for it all.
How are they doing on the ticketing thing?
They had the training last week and they'll be, switching to it the first week of June.
Sorry, are you going to maybe have some candidates to put up for us next meeting?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have, two right off the bat. We've still got some questions on one of them, on his, post certification. Their question came up. I wanna look into it more, but there's one definite coming up. Probably request his hearing, for next council meeting.
Jay, good job. We got the signs put up out there by the Lakeside Pavilion and the golf cart crossings there going for a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. If you could, for the next few Saturdays, until soccer quits, maybe have a little presence out there. So I don't want to give tickets. Just want to remind people that they need to slow down. I don't want to have a kid run over, but if someone's doing 35 through there or something like that, they need to pull over and say, hey, we got a 20 miles speed limit. And I talked to Harvey about this, Jay. He thinks we have enough battery probably that Saturday morning, we can put the batteries in that thing on both of them and leave them on until Monday morning. Because that's when there's a lot more golf cart traffic on the weekends that they're going across there all the time. And the pavilion's being used for soccer's on Saturday morning, obviously. So if we do that, see if it works out, pull them out. And obviously, I'm not too concerned about them speeding through there midnight.
I thought it was 45 through there.
Yeah, well, you did, but it's not. That's all I have for the chief. Anything else? Okay, let's go to Public Works. Optics still breaking your lines? Good.
I think the one that you ought to read there is the repaired dead-end water main at 7020 Oak Place. They took an axe handle out of the water main.
That'll do it.
Oh, God.
Is the splash pad going well? Any issues on the splash pad so far?
There's plenty of people there this weekend.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people out.
Anything else for Jay?
I just got a quick question. The public forum last time, we had a lady asking about some storm drain issues on Oak Drive. I'm just curious if we got to look at that.
I've met with her and talked to her 2 times now.
Cool.
I told her we'll wait until it dries up and then bottom.
Very cool.
Very good. Anything else? Very good. Then we'll move on to committee reports. Budget and finance.
Can we tentatively set a meeting for 6 PM before the next meeting? Unless maybe we need to talk to before then, for the joint meeting.
I'll send you and David an email to see if that works.
If we can pencil that in, and then maybe if David thinks we need to meet before then. But otherwise, if we can put it at 6 PM before the first meeting in June. And
Any other questions for budget? Very well, code and nuisance, Rick? Any questions for Rick? Yeah, Bob?
I don't have a question for Rick, but I've got this board. Is
Yeah, I'll hit that in.
That'll be a new business. Okay. Human Resources, Roger.
Nothing.
Any questions for Roger? Well, since David isn't here, anybody else in public facilities have anything to say?
We approved the new playground for Center Creek Park.
Thank you, Holly. Anything else? Very well, then economic development, Holly.
Yes, so I met with Retail Strategies last week remotely, and they presented their marketing guide to me. So they're gonna work on getting redacted copies of that, so I can get that out to everybody. And then they are at the ICSC conference this week, so hopefully they'll make some good connections for us there. That's all for me.
All right, anything else for Holly?
What about the web thing to get on?
Basecamp,
Basically,
yeah, we can get
is
on.
that in order?
Good.
We need a copy of that,
I'm just.
so we'll know. who's going on.
I thought they sent-
Oh, okay.
You know,
You got, yeah, Steve, you said that to me, right? After I clicked all my spelling.
Yep.
Send all that to everybody, would you?
I thought you sent it out last week.
Yeah, I think I did already.
Did you?
Oh, but Roger
You got it.
didn't get the email.
Somebody run Roger a copy.
Of what?
The committee assignments.
Oh, you
I need one too.
emailed it out.
I emailed
It's on
it.
the email.
Okay,
You need a-
unfinished business, Holly,
No,
Bob,
Nothing.
Rick?
No, sir.
I just got a question. Did Liberty ever call you back about the meter stuff? Well, I think you need to give her a call again. If you want me to talk to her, I will. I can't believe that it's been 2 weeks since she said she got the email now, and she can't tell us what the readings on the meter read. I mean, if she can't, then how do we know if they're getting it right? She gotta be able to ask somebody to tell us what each one of those screens means. Because I wanna make sure that we get, we're getting full benefit of our solar panels. I just have the feeling we're not, but that's just me, I'm a pessimist.
I think that's called realist.
And that's all I have. Unfinished.
I probably should have brought this up under the planning long-term. On the splash pad, I had asked about it the other day, and I don't remember if it was in the meeting, but we put the fence up for the splash pad and we don't have a gate. Kind of negates the purpose of having a fence to keep like dogs and stuff off the.
No, it's got the 2 posts in there and we left a gap in between them so that it was ADA.
I mean, it
I
does
had
keep
a-
kids from running in the street, but
Right, I had the post put in there at a distance where we could put a self-closing gate on there if we wanted to. I just didn't go that far with it. I stopped before putting the gate up and getting a self-closer style one. If you guys want me to get one, I'll absolutely get it done.
Do we have, that part doesn't have a sidewalk though, does it? Aren't you just
Yeah,
walking
it just
across
goes
the
down
grass?
to the parking lot and then it turns to the gravel.
Okay, so there, I was trying to remember, there is a sidewalk though through the gate to the gravel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, if that's why we left the opening, I was just kind of curious, because otherwise we just kind of have a bridge to nowhere. Fence with no gate.
That it?
Yeah, that's all I.
Walt?
No, sir.
Carol?
No.
Elena?
No, sir.
Crystal? Steve?
No, sir.
Jay?
I was just gonna say that then, what we've been doing in Country Club Estates is replacing a bunch of valves and fire hydrants. And some of them fire hydrants they put in the early '80s and they're bottom used, they're 1907s. So they don't shut off.
Are they made out of lead?
Well, they've got some kind of.
I thought they just had bucket brigades back then.
But those kind that if they get hit, the water just keeps coming out.
So we need new fire hydrants.
Oh, we've already installed 2 of them out there.
Okay.
I've got 2 more than 1907s that have to come out.
Well, water rates are going up. Anything else?
That's it.
Mark?
Nope.
New business, Carol?
Nope.
Walter?
No, sir.
Don?
Not, ma'am.
I have nothing.
Nothing. No, sir.
Bob? Holly?
No.
Lena?
I thought
Crystal?
Bob had new
Nope,
business.
that's Steve's gonna bring it up.
Oh,
Steve?
Yes, sir. 2 things I need to get your approval on. Dump truck, off of the state bid, $64,358, and it comes from Corwin Ford in Republic. There will be additional expense added on to that because we'll have to get a dump body, a spreader, and a snowplow for it, and have it installed at Bus Andrews. But I do need an approval on at least buying the dump truck. We have $293,208 in the equipment fund for public works, plus we've also budgeted another $85,000 in there, so we have more than enough money for that. Additional, we had a pickup, one of the pickups go down, hard down. And so I got a state bid, off the state bid for that also. And it is $38,982 for the pickup. Both the pickup and the existing dump truck that we want to get rid of, we'll put on Purple Wave and auction them off. They should bring pretty good money. And what Jay and I are trying to do is get into more reasonable vehicles and get away from diesel vehicles. Not only is diesel fuel expensive, the maintenance is 2 to 3 times higher on them than what it is for a gas engine. So the new dump truck is a gas engine and the new pickup is a gas engine. The pickup that went down was a diesel. Just trying to be more efficient with those scarce dollars. And the diesel dump truck was 120,
It's up
right?
120 what?
120,000 for
Oh,
the,
yeah.
120,000 for a diesel dump truck. You know, and we can get this gasoline for 64, so.
Yeah.
I have a question. Like I say, we have the money in there. We knew during budget talks we were gonna have to do this. My only question, did you say to repair the pickup would be like about $3,000?
$3,000 to repair the pickup.
Is that, do you want to sell it? Or would it be better, Jay, for your department if maybe we repaired it and had it as a backup or
We've had to repair that in the past several times. Every time they have to work on that diesel engine, it costs a lot.
It's
And
just-
I mean, we can replace it. I just didn't know if you maybe wanted to keep it as like an auxiliary vehicle or something.
That's the problem. I'm trying to keep them out of it, driving it. It sits there, and then that's when it goes down. If you don't drive it all the time, you have to take it out, put it on the highway, and you have to drive up to Asbury full speed to clear everything out of it.
Yeah, we'll put it on purple.
So it was, so I just, the price, I got the estimate for the repair was $3,058. And what it is an injection pump that's went bad in it. So if we were to replace a fuel pump and a gas engine one, the fuel pump was only $124. You know, and an injection pump is $1,300. So we've tried to do that. We're trying to get away from, you know, they've just gotten more and more expensive and more complicated. So I just need your.
It needs need a motion if you guys want to do this.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead with it.
These both got the full manufacturer warranty, they're both brand new.
Yes, both brand new, full manufacturer warranty.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spezzer, second by Rick Glenn to approve the purchase of the pickup truck and the dump truck as presented by the city administrator. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative, no objections, 1 absent.
How long,
Go ahead and buy it.
how long will it take to take delivery of these?
The pickup will be pretty quick. However long it takes to get a check cut, get the paperwork signed. Dump truck will take a little bit longer because us Andrews will have to do their end of it. But we'll have it.
It won't be 3 years like the
No.
fire truck.
That it for you?
Yes, sir.
New business, Jay.
Does it?
Mark? Nope. Is there any business for the council?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Glenn, we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 7 affirmative, 1 absent. We are adjourned. Thank all of you for staying.